Hey everyone, my name is Ali. I'm a first year PA student in Boston, Massachusetts, and in this video I wanted to talk about my experience during the first semester of didactic year and how it was affected by the pandemic. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I want to start this video by answering a question that I had before I started PA school, and that question was, will I have enough time to do the things that I enjoyed prior to PA school, as well as keep in touch with my family and those who I love? So the short answer to that question, in my experience, is yes, you will have time to do things outside of PA school, as well as keep in touch with those who are important to you. And I think, especially given the time that we're in right now in a pandemic and all, it's very important for your own mental health to get outside, to do things like exercise, to focus on going out in the nature, having a walk, staying in touch with your family, talking to them. And I think it actually improves the burnout that a lot of people experience in PA school. So I would definitely recommend doing things outside of PA school. Don't get me wrong, it's very important to study and study hard. There's a lot to learn, but make sure to take care of yourself in the process. I would say about 90 to 95% of our education this semester was online through Zoom, and in about 5% of the cases, we did have to go in person to learn clinical skills as well as practice our physical exam skills and take our practicals. Now, some of the bad parts that come with online schooling is the lack of connection that you're able to build with your professors and other students. I've heard from previous cohorts about how your class becomes like a family, and I definitely don't feel that connection as of the end of this semester, and I'm hoping that will change as the schooling moves forward. One of the other things that suck about online learning is the Zoom fatigue. Spending 12 to 16 hours per day online on your screen does really get tiring by the end of the day, and it's really hard to put in the studying hours that are needed in PA school to be successful while also attending 8 hours of lecture every day. Now, our school was able to cut down on our lecture time so that we could have more time for self-care and to really study. And that was a good thing, but that is definitely something that, sucks about online learning. I could go on and on about why online classes suck, and I would definitely prefer to be in person, but we were told by our professors that as a class we're performing much better than the previous classes, which could be due to the cutting down of the commute times and the ability to cut down on the lunch times as well. And I would definitely say that I don't feel like I've missed out much on the education aspect. I definitely think we've learned everything that we're supposed to, and we're taking the same exams that the classes before us took. So I don't think it has had a major effect on our learning. The next point that I wanted to touch on are study methods. Now, there are people in our class that have different methods that worked for them. For me this semester, what worked best for me was thinking like a provider. When I was able to put myself in the shoe of a provider and think of the new things that we were learning from that perspective, I was able to almost picture a patient coming with me with whatever condition that I was learning, as well as what kind of symptoms they would be having, what would my reasoning be when I see them, such as what my differential diagnosis would be, as well as the treatments. And that way I felt that I was able to retain a lot more. It's really important to find a study method that works for you, that you find enjoyable, and that gives you the best results in terms of your grades. And then lastly, in this video, I wanted to talk about what we covered in terms of our curriculum. So we started out with foundations, which was more of like a basic science courses to make sure that everybody was on the same page. This class I found incredibly hard because we had to cover one subject per day. So we covered things like cell biology, microbiology, genetics, and just science courses that we need in order to understand all the mechanisms of the diseases that are important. The second thing that we learned was dermatology, and the dermatology was about 1 week long for us, and we learned 100 different derm conditions, which were all really interesting, but I have to say it was my least favorite out of everything that we've covered so far. After dermatology, we went into MSK, or musculoskeletal, and it was about 2 weeks long. It was also the first class where I failed a quiz, which was like a wake-up call for me, and it really made me emotional, and I had to go back and look at my why. And it brings me to an important topic, is that PA school is hard. Everybody fails a quiz or an exam here and there, and it's important to look at that as an opportunity to grow as a person instead of doubting yourself. Because if you get into PA school or you fail an exam in PA school, it doesn't mean that you got there by mistake. It just means that you need to apply yourself a little bit more and challenge yourself a little bit more and work a little bit harder. And that's exactly what I did. After MSK, we went into neurology, which was possibly the most complex and the most fun for me. Neurology, I really enjoyed it, and it was about 3 weeks long. Um, I would love to learn a lot more about neurology, and hopefully in clinical year I can have a neurology rotation. Lastly, we're learning currently about psychiatry, and I have about 1 week left of exams for that class. Psychiatry is very, very, very interesting. I know I've said interesting to everything, but they're all interesting in different ways. I can definitely not see myself going into psychiatry just because of countertransference, which basically just means that you carry whatever you get at work to home with you, if that makes any sense. And I definitely don't want um, to be sad all the time, even though I feel really bad about the patients who struggle with these issues every day. I just don't think I am the person who can do that day in and day out and be happy. And that's about it. That will do for the first semester of PA school. Let me know if you guys have any specific questions. Feel free to subscribe, and thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.